Good day, class! Welcome ulit sa ating online public school. So, ito yung public school natin sa ere na naglalayon na makatulong sa inyo habang kayo ngayon ay nasa lockdown dahil dito sa pandemic. At para na rin doon sa mga parents na gustong tulungan yung inyong mga anak sa kanilang pag-aaral, please subscribe sa ating online public school. Okay, yung pag-uusapan natin ngayon is a follow-through sa ating trigonometry. Ipag-usapan natin yung right triangle. So, magkakaroon tayo ng seat work. Find the values of the sides and angles of the right triangles below. Yun yung nasa question mark. No? Hanapin natin yung mga values na nasa question mark. So, kapag tinignan nyo yung mga values na yan, these are all parts ng particular right triangles na ito. And these are special right triangles. Itong dalawang ito, i-memorize nyo yung mga values dito pagkatapos because these two are very standard right triangles na ang standard nila ay kanilang size. And itong dalawa naman ay standard angles, no, common ba? Very common, special angles na gagamit natin. This is the 30 degrees and ito yung isa ay 45 degrees. Okay? So, let's start calculating or computing for the values na itong mga sides na ito. Simulan natin sa unang dalawa. What to do? So, we change the question marks into meaningful variables para makompute naman natin na maayos. No? So, these are the two triangles na pag-uunahan natin ng pansin. And we change the question mark to the variable, the letter C. And then itong isa naman, we change to the variable letter A. Alright? And let's start computing. Of course, nakita nyo, these are right triangles. So, pag right triangle, applicable si Pythagorean theorem. So, by Pythagorean theorem, we know that c squared, itong si c squared, is equal to the sum nitong dalawa, no? Na squared. So, c squared is equal to 3 squared plus 4 squared, and that gives us 9. 3 squared is 9. 4 squared is 16. And pag sinum up mo yan, that's 25. Of course, you know that square root of 25 or what number you multiply by itself equals 25. So, 5. So, 5 times 5 is 25. So, therefore, C is 5. So, tandaan nyo yan, ha? Ibig sabihin, this triangle is what we call a special right triangle called 3, 4, 5 right triangle. No? So, pwedeng magkaroon ng mga values ng similar triangles to the 3, 4, 5. So, meaning halimbawa, pwedeng maging 6, 8, 10. No? Pero, it follows this ratio, 3, 4, 5 right triangle. Okay? Let's continue on. Dito sa kabila naman, syempre, ang hypotenuse natin dito is 13. So, siya naman ngayon yung ating C. No? Ito naman ngayon yung ating C. So, C squared, this is it, 13 squared is equal to A squared plus 12 squared. Okay? So, the square of the legs A and 12, equals to the square of the hypotenuse, which is this 13. Okay, next. So, using your calculator, if you want to multiply by pen and paper, so 13 squared is equal to 169. A squared remains A squared as the variable, and then 12 squared is 144. Ililipat ngayon natin so that we can have a meaningful equation. So, si A ngayon, ilipat natin dito sa kabila. No? So, si A ilipat natin sa kabila. And then si 169, ilipat natin doon. Just reverse it. So, we have A squared here on the other side. And then 169 minus 144. And A squared is also 25. So, A is the square root of 25, which is 5. So this is another special right triangle. We call it 5, 12, 13 right triangle. So it can have similar again values, meaning pwedeng mag-multiplicity ng values. So halimbawa 10, 24, 26, parang gano'n, ano, times 2 lahat. Pwede maging times 3 lahat. Pero it still follows the ratio ng 5, 12, and 13. So this is a 5, 12, 13. Tandaan yan. 3, 4, 5, and 5, 12, 13 na klase ng mga right triangles. Okay? We go to the other two. Ito si 30 degrees. At ito naman si 45 degrees. Now, in this case, we are more looking into the functions ni angles. So-solve natin ito using trigonometric functions. So again, use the nomenclature. Meron tayong C. Meron tayong C because this is the hypotenuse. And then we have this leg, gawin nating A. Now, gagamitin natin ngayon trigonometric functions. Remember the functions, sine, cosine, tangent, so on and so forth. But this time, not all, we use some of the functions. So dito sa 30 degrees, we use the sine function. Itong 30 degrees na, we use the sine function. Why? Because we have the, if this is the right angle, this is 30 degrees, this is the opposite side, and this is the hypotenuse. Na? And sine is the opposite over the hypotenuse. So, sine 30 is the opposite 5 over the hypotenuse C. And pag ating ilipat si C, now C is under the division sign dito sa kabilang side. So, pag nilipat natin siya dun sa kabila, it will become multiplication. Transposition natin. So, C becomes multiplying dun sa sine 30. So, sine 30 times C now equals 5. So, syempre, itatranspose din natin itong 30. This goes kabila. So, C equals now to 5 divided by sine 30. And if you use your calculator, you will find, no? Pindutin nyo yung inyong calculator sa 30 and then sine. You use a scientific calculator. And for each specific brand of calculator, yung button na yun ay iba-iba yung location. You just have to find sine and then click on it. And the sine of 30 degrees will actually lalabas na 0.5 or that is actually 1/2. No? So, C, kung divide by 1/2, that means C equals 10. So, makita nyo, sa special triangle na 30 degrees, itong opposite side is always kalahati ng hypotenuse. Kalahati. Lumaki man lumiit itong triangle, the ratio remains the same. Sine 30 is always 1/2. It will not change. Always 1/2. Okay? Dito naman tayo ngayon sa 45. Ano naman ang specialty nito? Well, in the first place, 45 degrees, 45 degrees, parehas. So, itong dalawang sides na to, they should be congruent. This is the 90 degree. Okay? So, kung congruent ito, if this is 5, so this one is tama, 5 na rin yan. So, no need to compute. That is automatically 5. So, dahil para sila ng 45, 45, ang tag natin dito ay isosceles triangle. Bakit naging parehas kaya yan? Well, this is a 90 degree angle here. And alam natin na yung natitira is 90 degrees because the sum nitong triangle is 180 degrees, no? Internal angles. So, 90 degrees divided by 2 is 45. So, that's why we have 45 and automatically yung kabila definitely maging 45. Unlike sa 30, the other side should be 60. No? Tama? Kasi 60 plus 30 is 90. So, dito, 45 plus 45 equals 90. Okay, let's use this angle here. Itong 45 na to, we can use any, actually. We can use this, we can use this. Doesn't matter, 45, but let's use this. And let's use the ratio A over C. And that is cosine of this 45 degrees. So, cosine of this 45 degrees is yung adjacent side. So, this A is actually the adjacent side. And this C is actually the hypotenuse. Okay? So, adjacent over hypotenuse is a cosine function. So, cosine 45 is equal to A over C. Now, we know A is actually 5. So, we substitute A. We get cosine equals 5 divided by C. Now, lilipat ulit natin si C doon katulad ng ginawa natin kanina. So, that makes a multiplication ulit. No? So, cosine 45 times C equals 5. And then, we bring down 45 again dito sa kabilang side. And that, tulad ng ginawa natin kanina, sine 30. So, 5 divided by cosine 45 is C. Your trusted calculator, gawin nyo yung cosine 45 will give you 0.7071. This is actually 1 divided by square root of 2. So, kung pipindutin nyo sa inyong calculator 1 over square root of 2, this will be 0.7071. And C equals 7.071. Alright? So, the important exercise today is nakuha nyo, naintindihan nyo yung application ng paggamit ng Pythagorean theorem, paggamit ng trigonometric functions para makuha yung mga values ng mga sides and angles ng isang right triangle. So, this is our lesson for today. Sa mga hindi pa naka-subscribe, subscribe na kayo. And I hope to see you again soon in the next video lectures natin. And keep practicing ng inyong math kahit sa inyong mga bahay. God bless everyone.